Mermaid Cove, 2022. Dearest reader, the time has come to place our bets on how long it will take Lady Sarah to make this dress. This author thinks faster than expected. Flawless, my dear. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah, and this is Emmie. Today, we're gonna make a Bridgerton-inspired dress because the new series is coming out very soon. It is really sunny in here. I have this sheet, which I found at the thrift store. I think I'm gonna dye it blue and go for a Bridgerton family look, just inspired by it. It's a thrift flip, so you know, I work with the fabric that I have. But I need a dress form to draft on. This one. I started by draping the front of the bodice. I went for a slightly squared neckline and a gathered empire waistline. For the back, I wanted to replicate the back detail from the Regency era. Mock-up done. This is pretty good. I know I'm supposed to dye the fabric first and then make the dress, but I really don't want to wait for that, so I think I'm just gonna sew it now and dye it later. It is also 75 degrees in here because of all my beautiful glass windows, makes quite the greenhouse effects. So I am wearing shorts. It's winter still. My cutting tool of choice today is my finger slicer. Looking back now, I think they made the back neckline slightly too low. I marked this on the pattern in case I use it again. I bravely, or foolishly, sewed the back seams without pins. I've done this enough times that it works out fine. I also ran a gathering stitch between the gathering marks on the front piece. It's worth mentioning that I'm not using historical sewing techniques on my polyester sheet dress. For the bodice lining, I used the same pattern, but with darts on the front. This shirt was made for situations just like this. One of the darts was very crooked. Can't have that. I ironed all of these seams, pushing the back seam toward the side. I attached the lining and the outer fabric at the neckline before stitching, clipping, and flipping it. That was hard to say. I pressed this so it would lay flat before adjusting the gathers on the bottom edge. The bodice is done. I went ahead and I serged all the raw edges, just because, you know, I have a serger. Fits pretty well. I am not a big fan of empire waist. I prefer more of a natural waist, but, you know, it's a costume. It is also 76 degrees in here now. Kind of dying. It's the middle of winter. I'm used to it being maybe 30 degrees outside, so this is a bit much. For the sleeve lining, I grabbed a sleeve pattern I liked and adjusted it to fit the arm's eye. This is the first of several drafts. See, that's my sleeve lining. And there's a dog on it. Eventually, I removed the dog from my lining and voila! A sleeve lining! To make the puff sleeve, I used the slash and spread method and cut 3 slits to spread at the top of the sleeve head. The sleeve shape was a bit wonky, but it meant that most of the sleeve puff was at the top. The bottom edge of the sleeve and the lining are the same size, so I sewed those together before adding elastic. It's historically inspired, not accurate. I pleated the sleeve into the arm side instead of gathering because gathering looked too messy. The bodice is done. The sleeves are done. Let's keep in mind that I'm wearing modern undergarments and not stays, but otherwise, you know, it's good. So the skirt is just a rectangle. Guess I'm almost done. Just in case you thought I was kidding about the temperature in here. It's really, really hot. I just had a really good idea because I'm using a sheet. So one side is already hemmed. So if I just cut it to the right length, it'll be hemmed already and I won't even have to bother. This is awesome. Don't need that tag anymore. Much better. I matched up the center fronts and pinned until the side seams before, oh wait, it's petting time. Before gathering from the side seam to the back seam. Much better. Emmie, how am I supposed to get any work done when you do that? That's my work area. I tried to do the skirt lining unassisted, but that didn't go over very well with my assistant. The dress is done! Except for the zipper. I don't want to put the zipper in and dye it after, and dye the zipper, so it's just gonna not have a zipper for a bit, but you know, it's been like 4 hours? 4.5 maybe? I was not planning on making a dress in a day, I was planning on making a dress in a week, so. Round 1 of dyeing went poorly. Round 2 went much better. I added the zipper, and after a quick steam, the dress was finished. I'm super excited. I just got home from the store, and I just bought an embroidery machine. I literally just, set it up. Not bad for my first time ever machine embroidering. See, there was a bit of a problem there. And that's missing a leaf, but Yes, I know, it's walk time. I'm pretty proud of this, and I kind of want to frame it. I also bought an extremely unrelated thing that wasn't planned, but how could I resist? The embroidery machine was planned. So I showed my aunt the dress, and she said I really should make a period-accurate bonnet to go with it, so that's my mission for today, and I'm gonna make Emmie a matching dress. I drafted this Emmie bodice pattern forever ago, and adjusted it to have a more empire waistline. To make the matching gathers, I pulled the lining out to add fabric just to the middle section. I cut the skirt rectangle 13 by 26 inches. I hemmed 3 edges, also some belly straps. I pinned the straps and gathered the middle section. Ta-da! A tiny bodice! I gathered the top of the skirt and adjusted it to fit the bodice. For the puffy sleeves, I cut 2 circles, folded them in half, and gathered the half circle side. Hey Emmie, I need you. Come here. Lovely, Emmie. Just lovely. For the bonnet, I grabbed this pattern by Sew Through Time. I'll link it below, but if you want to watch the actual instructions, I would go watch her video. I used fusible interfacing because I didn't have the right materials, and it didn't go well. She said to print the pattern on poster-sized paper, which I thought meant bigger than 8.5 by 11, so I added lots of seam allowance all over the place. I cut the crown out of a 20-inch circle and gathered up the edge. I fused the interfacing to the lining and sewed the right sides together along the outer brim. I flipped it right sides out and top stitched. I pinned the brim and the circle together and made a giant mess. So this is pretty bad. I may have to rethink this giant bonnet thing. Also, I have a dog. I think if I take it apart and make the brim smaller, then maybe I won't have this problem because it won't have to support the weight of the giant brim. It looks really bad right now. So I made a poll on Instagram about what I should do with the bonnet monstrosity. The results were pretty one-sided. Today I'm gonna try and fix this monstrosity. And then I have to make a mini bonnet. She doesn't really like stuff on her head, so it won't actually be on her for very long. I know. You're being a good girl. Because I was making it smaller and running low on sheet, I just cut the giant bonnet apart. And then I did it all again, but more dainty this time. I also pressed the brim on my tailor's hand, trying to get rid of that crease. And bam! Bonnet! And a tiny bonnet. What do you think, Emmie? Need some decorations? I pinned some lace on mine, and matching lace for my assistant. Speaking of, she had to come help. That's not helping. I hand-stitched the trim and a few rosettes, and our matching bonnets are done! We had to have a tea party, complete with cookies for me and treats for Emmie. Don't worry, it's just water and treats. Mine's just water. We got out our matching bonnets. Emmie was not thrilled about the hat, so it didn't last very long. And also matching sunglasses. Yep, we're that cool. And then we went for a promenade. I tried to stay dignified and proper, but things got a little silly.
I am a goofy person.
We took a short play break, or nap break.
It's the Duke! You're such a good boy, Duke.
Miss Bridgerton has found her Duke. I'm ready to watch season 2. What about you?
That was a fun little thrift flip project. I quite enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe for more fun sewing adventures. Bye everybody! Say bye, Emmie girl.
Hi, you're not in this scene.